Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Fat Boy Diaries. I'm Cameron Gran, your resident fat boy, and this guy right here is Anthony Raus from none other than Cinemascape Studios, which has a trailer coming out for its new short film called
Abstraction.
What is that about, Anthony?
Don't ask me because I have no idea.
Wow, and it's coming out soon too! What are you doing in here? No. No. No! Today we're going to talk about Halloween. So we're going to talk about the only, the one, Jamie Lee Curtis. And who else we're going to talk about but the...
Michael Myers.
Otherwise known as The Shape. Who plays him?
James G. Courtney plays him for most of the film.
And then...
Nick Castle, who originated the role.
What?
You see.
From the original?
The film is directed by David Gordon Green and co-stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, and James Jude Courtney. Halloween is a direct reboot to the original film, which came out in 1978, directed by John Carpenter, and acts as a direct sequel. The film takes place 40 years after the events of Halloween night in 1978.
40 years.
When Michael Myers killed 5 people. Sorry, I was doing Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
And this film is about Laurie Strode, how she's dealt with those 40 years, and now 40 years later dealing with the trauma, the pain that was inflicted on her, led to 2 failed marriages, the loss of her daughter who was taken away by child services, and her belief that Michael Myers is very much alive and going to still come after her and escape from Smith's Grove Sanitarium again, which is why I wonder why they put him in the exact same sanitarium that he escaped from in the first film.
Yeah, because they're not smart. You know, horror films is not smart.
just
He escapes
saying.
from one asylum to just escape from the same one again. Let's put him back there. You know, he killed 5 people. He's fine. Transform him with non-violent people. That makes sense.
That was really good. I love this film. I think it's the second best, tied with The Return of Michael Myers Part 4 for the second best. I thought the way that they tackled Laurie Strode's trauma is much better than they did in H2O. I loved H2O. I thought it was a great film, but I thought this one tackled the idea of trauma, and whereas in H2O she gets as far away from Haddonfield as possible, in this film she's depicted much less. She's not a runner, she's a warrior in this film. So she's like, no, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving my home, I'm not leaving Haddonfield. She stays and she makes sure that she's ready for the inevitable return of Michael Myers.
This film is a lot more of a instead of Michael Myers being, I mean, let's be honest, he kills a lot of people. But this film, instead of Laurie Strode being more of the victim who's coming after and preying on, it's kind of more of she's the prey and he's the victim. And I say that lightly because the fact is he's still a horrible person. She's like hunting him down a lot more, and to the point that it felt like if she had not even pursued him, I don't think he would have gone after her. He had one mission, and that was to get his mask back, and the only reason that was his only intended murder. The rest of them just felt like people, oh, I'm walking around in the street. Oh, you look like you could die. That's how it felt like the rest of the killings were happening.
Well, and they say that that's what the doctor says in the film, is he knows how to move and how to kill, and he will not stop until he is stopped.
Yeah.
He's a killing machine.
Speaking of the doctor, what do you think of the doctor? He was not as good as Loomis was in the original.
Well, yeah, but because Loomis really, like, this doctor, Dr. Santane, tries to understand Michael Myers, whereas Dr. Loomis understood Michael. He understood that Michael was an unstoppable killing machine, had to be destroyed. In this film, the podcasters in the first half of the film are listening to a cassette tape where Loomis is giving an interview, and he says he needs to be destroyed. Take out his vital organs and burn his carcass alive, because he has to be stopped. I almost like the doctor in this film because he's not trying to, he can't, in the eyes of the fans, he's not taking the place of Loomis, because Loomis really understood Michael. This doctor tries to understand Michael, but you can't understand evil. You can't reason with evil.
Yeah.
Evil is unstoppable, does not take sides, and is there to just keep on going and devour and devour, or murder and murder and murder. And that's what I think that fans will like about the psychiatrist in this film, is that he's not trying to replace Loomis.
So which brings me back to my point, which is the fact is, I've only seen this one and the remake Rob Zombie did, and I really didn't like that one because he's talking about just an unthinkable force. I felt like that film made the film and Michael be more humanized in the fact that you really got into his brain and how he decided to go go after people and that kind of stuff. I didn't like that. It made him too reasonable to the point that he's not somebody that can be stopped, and if someone has reason behind what they're doing, it makes it be that they'll stop if someone comes in front of their path that they don't have the intention of killing. And this film is brutal. Like, there's no like light little deaths that like, oh, if you just not been there when he was trying to escape, he wouldn't have killed you. He kills everybody. He's like, oh, you were just minding no business, doing your car shop. Oh, sorry, you did. I want your pants. He stole someone's pants. He's this guy left off with his whitey ties that stained
It's
blood.
his uniform.
Yeah, he stole the guy's pants. And then he like rips the teeth out of someone's face. I was like, dude, how do you even have time to do that? You just ripped them all out in one rope. And then
I got someplace to be at 4, but I
have to go to the dentist. Can I have your teeth
out too?
Got some cavities? Not no more. You lost no teeth. This is the spoil section. Enjoy, because we have some dirty little secrets.
One of my favorite things about the kills in this film is that after the bus crashes, the first person that Michael Myers murders after 40 years of being incarcerated is a kid. Which really, I think, sets the scene. Oh shit, nobody is safe in this film. He's an unstoppable force. Which was true of the first film, too. In the first film, you see him outside of a school, and as one of the bullies is running away from the school, he literally grabs the kid and then just lets him go. And that's it, and then he just continues walking.
But you also have to realize that it's been 40 years. Maybe he wouldn't intentionally go after children, but after 40 years, he doesn't care anymore.
That's true. And like in the original film, the kid that Laurie Strode is babysitting, Tommy Doyle, Michael Myers had every opportunity to kill him, and he didn't. There are a ton of kids in this film. There are kids out trick-or-treating, and he walks by them, and you're like, one swoop of the knife, and he could kill 2 kids at once.
This is another reason I like this film a lot better than the remake with Rob Zombie, is he didn't glorify the killing, which I feel like Rob Zombie really mocked the killing of people. I'm more frightened of someone who is careless with death than someone who revels in it.
Well, and in the original film, the 1978 film, there's like 1 drop of blood. There's like no blood in that film because it's all subliminal.
There are a lot of shoutouts to the original in this film. For instance, the first time that you ever see Laurie with her granddaughter, it starts off the same way that it starts off with her in school, which is the fact is that she's in a classroom, teacher's talking to her. Instead of seeing Mike Myers out the window, which is what happens in the first film, you see Laurie Strode out there looking at her granddaughter. I liked Laurie Strode's family a lot. I was not a huge fan of a lot of the side characters that came into play. I was not a huge fan of any of Allison's friends that showed up. Allison is her granddaughter, Laurie Strode's. I mean, except for her babysitter friend, who I thought was a very decent character who would actually emphasize the most with having a grandmother who you don't know whether or not she's crazy or not. Which, let's face it, that's how Laurie Strode comes across. Just because you've seen Halloween doesn't mean everyone else knows that she's safe. I'm just saying. Okay. My favorite scene in the film is with the babysitter, her friend, and Julian, who's like a kid who's home on Halloween being babysat. His parents went out. It's so funny because they're doing all these like teenager things, and he's like just clipping his nails, like commenting on the fact that like she's not actually paying attention to him on Halloween. A bit of advice: just because a little kid says they're scared of the dark and you want to go upstairs to check to placate them, make sure you actually check. Don't be like, oh, it's safe. Little kids are stupid. There's no actual serial killer in that closet. You gotta look. You gotta look if you don't want to die. After you look, then you can say it's safe.
That kid's smart too. That kid is not like, ooh, let me go examine the strange noise. He's like, let me get the hell out of this house.
If you go up there, you're gonna die. He's really good. Karen Strode is played by Judy Greer. I love her. She's from 13 Going on 30, and she's also from Jurassic World, if you haven't seen that. She plays her daughter, and her distant daughter, because the fact is that while she was growing up, but Laurie Strode is very much fixated on becoming very, like, prepared for when Michael Myers returns. So she trains her daughter to like be a fighter and to shoot guns and to make traps at a young age. So when he returns, they can handle that, and then that leads to her getting taken away from her mother. But it's been 40 years since he was put away, and Judy Greer is never part of any of that stuff. And Karen was never part of any of that stuff. So you never, as someone who sees a parent going through trauma and trying to prepare you for a trauma that's never shown up, it made sense that they're very distant to me.
I just didn't like the character. I liked her a lot more in the last third of this film than I did in the rest of the film. Between her and her husband.
Her husband was a useless character.
If I had a complaint about this film, it would be that we don't see any understanding from Karen until it's solidified. Oh, he really is here. Rather than just believing her and believing that he was gonna come back. It's like, oh, I don't believe you. Oh, look, concrete proof. Okay, you're good.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I say it's the Halloween defense. Just because you've watched 11 films with Michael Myers and you're like, Michael Myers is real. Laurie is telling the truth. He's
locked up in the
Listen to your mother. He's killed a lot of people that no longer exist.
Or as the boyfriend says in the beginning of the film, you know what? By today's standards, it's not that bad. I mean, he only killed 5 people. And then the friend's like, dude, her grandmother almost died.
Yeah.
But she got away and he's locked up.
Yeah.
Like idiots.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
That's true, but I'm just saying, like,
Right.
just because you know that how big of an issue he is, doesn't mean that the daughter does if she never actually met Benjamin.
Well, and this retcons all the sequels.
Yeah.
So we're only going off of the first film and the fact that rather than killing dozens of people that he's done throughout 2 through Resurrection.
Yeah.
We're only going off of the 5 people he killed on
October 31st, 1978.
and his sister and Judith Myers, who he killed when he was 6.
Yeah, his sister. Not Jamie Lee Curtis, because that was
She's-
written out.
That's something people made up to make themselves feel better.
Exactly. Because we can't just have someone going around killing people for no reason.
Which I think was a welcome change.
Yeah.
All it did for me was, I mean, growing up I thought it was fine, it was whatever. But all it did was give reason as to why Michael Myers just decided, I'm going after this one right here.
Yeah.
This one is the one I'm going after, which I think it's much scarier that there is no reason.
Now let's talk about the final showdown, where everyone realizes just how much Laurie Strode has actually prepared. Because you're like, okay, she's prepared. She's been shooting. She's trained enough that she can finish up with a weapon. Yeah, okay. And then you get to her house, which looks okay. It looks creepy in the beginning. Like, she has like a raw iron. So it's like very heavily fortified. But I'm just like...
Fortress.
Yeah, it's very heavily fortified. But I'm like, okay, she just wants to be secure because that happened to her. And then you're like, no, she's not even only secure just because she has her grounds like blocked off. She has her entire house like sectioned off into segments. And you find that out as a film. Like, they're not taking a second to explain it to you. Literally, they're like, oh yeah, he's here? Okay, we just want you to know that this little trapdoor just shuts the room. So if he's in there, he can't come back out. She's smart. There's prepared and then there's crazy prepared.
As crazy as Michael.
Yeah, because literally there are a lot of segments that I was like, there were a lot of segments in the final showdown that I was like, she is literally this close to being him. Although I do like how even in a horror film, she can still have an awesome action hero line at the end. Happy Halloween, Michael.
That's the point. Laurie and Michael have a giant, well, not a giant. She like circles throughout the entire house looking for him. And then when she finds him, he gets the upper hand and knocks her over the balcony. And then he looks away because Allison has come in the front door. And when he looks back, she's not on the ground anymore.
There's a round of applause by everyone.
I'm just thinking that Michael's just like, oh, so that's what it feels like.
That was a good shout out. Halloween, out of 10 stars, how many stars would I give it? I would give it a 9 out of 10. Why? Because it's one of the better horror films I've seen in the last 5 years. Also because of the fact that it doesn't rely on gimmicks and side novelties in order to be scary like some films do. Like The Nun, which was atrocious. No offense. What would you give it, Anthony?
Give it a 9, probably. It would have gotten a 10 had there been more Jamie Lee Curtis and less dumb teenagers, I feel like.
Yeah.
But if you want true to the core Michael Myers walking shape, you're gonna get it here, and that's why I loved it so much.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. This review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, please like, share, comment, hate comment. I don't care. This is Anthony Raus. So go check him out on his Anthony Raus YouTube channel. Right there, down in the descriptions, you will find a link to his YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much, and as always, have a great day. And as always, have an amazing day. Bye! What's the film about, Anthony?
This film takes place 40 years after the events of 1978.
40 years!
That's right.
Yeah.
When Michael Myers killed 5 people and Laurie Strode...